Sometimes love doesn't speak loudly, it doesn't beg, it doesn't chase attention, it builds quietly. Tonight, I'm not here to impress you, I'm not here to promise you, I'm not here to promise you the stars. I'm here to tell you something real, something solid, something built with intention. Music. I bought this apartment only for you, not because I needed walls, not because I wanted a view, but because I needed a place where our silence could feel safe, where your laughter could echo without fear, where every corner could remember your footsteps. I imagined you walking through that door for the first time, your eyes scanning the room, your smile slowly appearing when you realize this space was never empty. It was waiting for you. This isn't about money. It was waiting for you. This isn't about money. Love builds before it speaks. Love creates a foundation before asking someone to stay. Every brick in that apartment carries a thought of you. Every window holds a dream of our mornings. Every room whispers your name before you even enter. Because real love doesn't just say, I want you. It says, I made space for you, and I didn't buy an apartment. I built a future. I bought this apartment only for you, not as a grand gesture, not as a way to prove something, not as a trophy to hold up and say, look what I did. I bought it in silence, in long nights of thinking about the future, in quiet mornings when the world was still asleep and the only thing awake inside me was the vision of you walking beside me. People think love is words. They think it's dramatic confessions, flowers, surprises, loud promises thrown into the air. But I've learned something different. Love is preparation. Love is responsibility. Love is building something steady before inviting someone into it. When I signed those papers, my hands weren't shaking because of the money. They were steady because of the money. They were steady because of the meaning. Every signature felt like I was writing your name next to mine in a future that hasn't happened yet, but feels more real than anything I've lived before. I didn't buy an apartment. I bought mornings with you. I bought quiet coffee on a balcony where the sun touches your face before it touches the rest of the world. I bought the sound of your footsteps crossing a living room that was empty until you filled it with your presence. I bought the peace of knowing that no matter how hard the world gets, there is a door we can close behind us. I walked through each room before it was ours. The walls were plain. The air felt unfamiliar. The silence echoed, but I didn't see emptiness. I saw potential. I saw where your laughter would bounce off the walls. I saw where your favorite chair would sit. I saw the kitchen light on late at night because we stayed up talking about dreams that scare us and excite us at the same time. I stood in the bedroom and imagined you resting there, finally feeling safe, not just physically safe, emotionally safe, safe enough to exhale, safe enough to be unguarded, safe enough to exist without pretending. That's why I bought it, not to impress you, but to protect what we could become. Every corner of that apartment carries a quiet promise. Not spoken, not dramatic, just steady. The kind of promise that doesn't shake when storms hit. The kind of promise that doesn't shake when storms hit. The kind that doesn't disappear when things get difficult. I thought about the days when you feel tired, the days when the world misunderstands you, the days when you question yourself. I wanted you to have a place where you don't have to be strong all the time. A place where you can sit on the floor if you want, lean against the wall, close your eyes, and just breathe. Because love isn't about making someone stronger. Here, sometimes it's about giving them permission to rest. When I chose that apartment, I didn't choose it for the city view. I didn't choose it for status. I chose it because I could see us inside it. I could see us cooking together, maybe burning something and laughing about it. I could see us arguing softly and then sitting in silence until we both realized we'd rather hold each other than be right. I could see your reflection in the windows at night, the way you look when you think no one is watching, the way you exist when you're just you. I want to build a life where you never feel temporary. That's what this apartment means. It means permanence. It means intention. It means I am not walking into this halfway. I am not standing at the door wondering if I should leave. I am inside, fully, completely, with my heart open and my fears acknowledged but not in control. Buying that place was not a financial decision. It was emotional architecture. I was building stability. I was building a foundation that says you don't have to worry about where you belong. Use. Because belonging is not something you beg for. It is something someone creates space for. And I created space for you. I thought about how you deserve more than uncertainty. You deserve more than vague promises. You deserve more than vague promises. You deserve more than vague promises. A ceiling that doesn't leak doubt. Floors that don't shake with insecurity. This apartment is more than concrete and paint. It is proof that I am serious about the life I see with you. When I unlocked the door for the first time, the air smelled new, untouched, like a blank page. I walked slowly, letting the quiet settle around me. I placed my hand on the wall, and whispered your name under my breath, not because anyone was there to hear it, but because I needed the space to know who it was waiting for. Not just your presence, your energy, your softness, your strength, your flaws, your moods, your dreams, your chaos, your calm. I bought it knowing that love is not always easy. Your dreams, your chaos, your calm. There will be nights when we misunderstand each other. There will be moments when silence feels heavy. But even then, I want those moments to happen in a place that is ours, a place that reminds us that we chose each other intentionally. There's something powerful about choosing your life, and the noise turns into music. I chose you in my thoughts long before I told you. I chose you when I imagined a future, and your face was the only one that made sense beside mine. I chose you when I decided that building something real is better than chasing something temporary. And this apartment is a reflection of that choice. It's not extravagant, it's not perfect, but it's honest. It has windows that let in light, just like you let light into my life. It has doors that lock securely, just like I want you to feel secure with me. It has empty rooms waiting to be filled, just like I want you to feel secure with me. It has empty rooms waiting to be filled, just like my future was waiting for you. I picture you standing in the doorway, maybe unsure at first, maybe asking, "Why did you do this?" And I would look at you calmly and say, "By Gusting, why did you do this?" And I would look at you calmly and say, "Because love deserves preparation." I don't want to invite you into uncertainty. There's a difference between wanting someone and preparing for them. Anyone can say, "I love you." Not everyone can say, "I made room for you." And making room is not just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's spiritual. I cleared out my fears. I faced my doubts. I worked on myself so that when you step into this space, you're not stepping into this space, you're not stepping into chaos. You're stepping into readiness. This apartment is quiet right now, but in my mind, it's alive. I can hear your laughter. I can hear music playing softly in the background. I can hear the gentle rhythm of a life being built, slowly, intentionally, without rush. I didn't rush this decision. I waited until I was sure that you are not just someone I feel for, but someone I see a future with, Fisk. Someone I respect, Yuzik, deeply. Someone I want beside me when life is ordinary, not just when it's exciting. Because love is not proven in vacations and celebrations. It's proven in ordinary days, in grocery lists, in shared responsibilities, in sitting on the couch after a long day, not saying much, but feeling everything. That's what I bought. Not just an apartment, but ordinary days with extraordinary meaning. I imagined us choosing paint colors together, maybe disagreeing, maybe laughing at how seriously we take small decisions. I imagined you placing your personal touches around the space, transforming it from a structure into a home. A home is not made when you buy it, and I am waiting for the day your love walks through that door and changes the atmosphere completely. I want you to feel ownership, not as a guest, not as someone visiting, but as someone who belongs there as much as I do. Because you do. In my heart, you already do. This apartment is just a physical reflection of what I have already decided. Internally, I am not offering you a fantasy. I am offering you consistency. I am not offering you a perfect life. I am offering you a perfect life. I am offering you a perfect life. When I think about the future, I don't see luxury. I see comfort. I see us waking up early, sometimes arguing about who makes breakfast. I see us late at night talking about fears we don't tell anyone else. I see us growing older in a space that witnessed our beginnings. There is something sacred about beginnings. This apartment is ours before it is filled. It is ours before the furniture. It is ours before the memories. And that makes it powerful because it means we get to write the story inside it from the first page. I want you to know that this was not impulse. This was commitment. Every payment I make, every responsibility I take on, I take it with your name quietly resting in my heart, not as press. Sure, not as obligation, but as motivation. You inspire me to build. You inspire me to build. You inspire me to build. You inspire me to think long term instead of short term. That is what love does when it is real. It shifts you from surviving to preparing, and I am preparing for you. For the life we haven't lived yet, but already feels like destiny unfolding slowly, patiently, intentionally. Slowly, patiently, intentionally, like footsteps echoing in an empty apartment waiting for the sound of two hearts. Learning how to beat in the same rhythm under one roof, where the lights stay on, not because we are afraid of the dark, but because we are no longer afraid of staying, no longer afraid of staying, no longer afraid of building something that lasts beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the temporary noise of the world. Something steady, something grounded, something that begins the moment you step inside and realize that this space, this quiet, this future was always meant to hold you and me within its walls, where our story continues to breathe and unfold without needing applause, without needing permission, just needing us to walk in and close the door behind us while the rest of the world fades into silence, and all that remains is the life we are ready to begin together, and the stillness of a place I bought only for you, and a love that keeps expanding inside it without asking for a nature. Ending. A a home is not walls and furniture, it is intention, sacrifice, and devotion. When people hear the word home, they imagine a structure. They imagine doors, windows, polished floors, expensive couches, warm lights hanging from the ceiling. They imagine decoration. But I have learned that a home is something deeper, something quieter, something you cannot photograph and cannot fully explain. A home is intention. When I bought this apartment for you, I wasn't buying square meters. I wasn't calculating resale value. And I wasn't thinking about what others would say when they saw it. I was thinking about the invisible things, the sacrifices no one sees, the devotion no one applauds, the quiet decisions made in solitude. Because love, real love, is built in silence, long before it is celebrated in public. I remember standing inside that empty apartment. The walls were freshly painted, but they felt cold. The floor was clean, but it felt distant. There was no personality there, no warmth, no memory, just space. And yet, as I stood there, I didn't feel emptiness. I felt purpose. I walked from room to room slowly, not as a buyer, but as a man imagining the future of the woman he loves. I asked myself, will she feel safe here? Will she feel respected here? Will she feel respected here? Will she feel at peace here? Because that is what a home must offer. Safety, respect, peace. Anyone can provide shelter. Not everyone can provide safety. Safety is emotional. It is the feeling of knowing that your heart will not be mishandled. It is the feeling of knowing that your heart will not be mishandled. It is the assurance that your vulnerability will not be weaponized. I wanted these walls to witness tenderness, not tension. I wanted them to hold conversations that heal, not words that wound. That is intention. Intention is waking up early to work harder, not because you crave status, but because you crave stability for someone you love. It is choosing responsibility over comfort. It is understanding that love is not only about how you feel in beautiful moments, but how committed you remain in ordinary ones. There were sacrifices involved in buying this apartment, sacrifices people don't see. I delayed certain pleasures. I refused certain distractions. I said no to temporary excitement so I could say yes to a permanent future. And I didn't feel burdened by those sacrifices. I felt strengthened by them. Because sacrifice, when it is driven by love, does not feel like loss. It feels like investment. I invested in us. I imagined the days when you would come home tired, your shoulders heavy, with the weight of the world. I imagined you dropping your bag near the door, exhaling deeply, knowing that inside these walls, you don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to defend yourself. You can just be. That feeling cannot be bought with money alone. It is built with devotion. Devotion is consistency. It is choosing the same person again and again, even when emotions fluctuate. It is remaining steady. When moods shift, it is saying without dramatic speeches, I am here. I am not leaving. This apartment represents that steadiness. It is not about luxury. It is about longevity. I don't want to offer you moments that disappear. I don't want to offer you a foundation that remains, a place where we can argue and reconcile disappear. I want to offer you a foundation that remains, a place where we can argue and reconcile disciples, a place where tears can fall without shame, a place where laughter can echo freely. I thought about the kitchen, not as a place for appliances, but as a place for shared effort. I imagined us cooking together. Maybe we disagree about recipes. Maybe we tease each other about mistakes. But in those small interactions, something bigger grows. Partnership. A home is built in small moments. It is built when one person washes the dishes without being asked, when one person notices the other is overwhelmed and says, sit down, I'll handle this. It is built when silence is comfortable, not threatening. I want our silence to be gentle. When I walked into the bedroom, I didn't see empty space. I saw trust, because the bedroom is where masks fall. It is where the world's expectations are left at the door. It is where the world's expectations are left at the door. It is where two people show each other their most unguarded selves. That kind of space requires devotion. It requires loyalty. It requires emotional maturity. And I am committed to that maturity. Buying this apartment forced me to reflect deeply. Am I ready to be the kind of man who doesn't just speak about love, but protects it? Am I ready to carry responsibility without resentment? Music. Am I ready to grow, to adapt, to listen? Because a home cannot survive on romance alone. It survives on character. I don't want you to enter a space where you feel temporary. I don't want you to wonder if this is just a phase. I want you to feel rooted, chosen, considered when you walk through that door. I want you to feel that every decision leading to this moment was made thoughtfully, not impulsively, not emotionally unstable, but carefully. There is something powerful about careful love. It doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't pressure. It builds brick by brick, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. Devotion is not loud. It doesn't need attention. It shows up daily. It pays bills. It fixes problems. It apologizes when wrong. It forgives when hurt. It remains when leaving would be easier. That is the kind of love I want inside this apartment. I thought about the balcony too. A simple space, but I imagined us standing there at night. The city lights glowing in the distance, the air cool against our skin. Maybe we don't speak much. Maybe we just stand close. And in that closeness, there is understanding. Understanding that life will not always be easy. There will be financial pressures. There will be emotional misunderstandings. There will be days when patience feels thin. But inside a true home, those challenges do not divide. They refine. I don't expect perfection from us, I expect effort. Effort is another form of devotion. Effort is listening when you're tired. Effort is choosing kindness when you're tired. Effort is choosing kindness when you're frustrated. Effort is remembering that the person standing in front of you is not your opponent, but your partner. It says, I am not building a life alone. I am building it with you in mind. When I arranged the basic furniture, I left space, space for your taste, space for your ideas, space for your personality, because a home should reflect both hearts, not just one. Love is not control, it is collaboration. I want you to feel free inside these walls, free to decorate, free to rearrange, free to express yourself, free to grow. Growth is essential. If we remain the same forever, we stagnate. But if we grow together, we strengthen. This apartment is not the final destination. It is the beginning of evolution. It is where we learn each other deeply, where we disco, ver habits, preferences, fears, dreams, where we practice patience, fears, dreams, where we practice patience. Patience is sacred in love. It is the ability to pause before reacting, the strength to choose understanding over ego, the humility to admit mistakes. I promise to practice that patience here. I promise to treat this home as sacred ground, not because it is expensive, but because it'll hold our story. And stories deserve respect. I can already imagine the small details. The way sunlight will fall across the living room floor in the morning. The way your voice will sound when it calls my name from another room. The way laughter will soften even the hardest days. These are not fantasies. They are intentions in a music. They are intentions. That intention repeated daily becomes reality. I want you to know that buying this apartment was not about ownership. It was about offering stability, offering protection, offering consistency. I am not perfect. I will make mistakes. I will have moments of weakness, but devotion means I will not run from those moments. I will face them. I will learn, I will improve. For you, for us, a home is also forgiveness. There will be misunderstandings. There will be words spoken too quickly. But inside a true home, pride does not dominate. Apologies are not rare. Accountability is not avoided. I want our apartment to be a place where apologies are sincere and forgiveness is real, where we do not sleep with unresolved resentment, where we do not allow ego to build walls thicker than the ones surrounding us. Love is fragile if neglected, but powerful if nurtured. This apartment is where I want to nurture it, where I want to water it with attention, feed it with effort, protect it with loyalty. Devotion means I will not compare you to anyone else. It means I will not entertain distractions. It means I will guard what we build. Because what we build is rare. Two people choosing each other intentional. In a world that encourages temporary connections is rare. Building a home instead of chasing endless excitement is rare. Building a home instead of chasing endless excitement is rare. Committing instead of wandering is rare. When you finally stand in this apartment and look around, I don't want you to see material things. I want you to see evidence of thought, evidence of planning, evidence of sacrifice. I want you to feel how deeply you were considered. Every long workday, every disciplined decision, every postponed desire, all of it carried your name silently. Because loving you is not a hobby, it is a responsibility I accept willingly. This apartment is not just where we will live, it is where we will fail and try again, where we will celebrate small victories, where we will comfort each other after disappointments, where we will sit on the floor sometimes because life feels overwhelming and remind each other why we started. A home is not built in a day, it is built in daily choices, daily kindness, daily patience, daily devotion, and I am ready for those daily choices. I am ready to wake up and choose you, to return home and choose you again, to stand in that living room during difficult conversations and still choose you. That is what this apartment means. It means I am not here temporarily. I am here intentionally. I am here sacrificially. I am here devotedly, not just with feelings, but with action.